Eyewitness News with Bill Beutel, Scott Clark with sports, Sam Champion with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast, and the Eyewitness News team. Now, Eyewitness News.
Good evening, I'm Bill Beutel. 2.5 months now till the election, and the scandal at City Hall threatens Mayor Dinkins' campaign and his re-election. Philip Michael has resigned, as you know, as budget director in the face of charges of favoritism in letting a city contract. And the mayor says the axe will fall no more. No one else will be fired or forced to resign. More now from political correspondent Pat Dawson, live at Gracie Mansion. Pat?
Bill, it's almost 4 years to the day since Yusuf Hawkins was shot to death in Bensonhurst. That is an event many people feel cost Ed Koch his mayoralty in a primary battle with David Dinkins. This week, Mayor Dinkins learned the political cost of incumbency when his own Department of Investigation reported there'd been serious irregularities in the awarding of a contract to Lockheed Services. Today, as the problem stretched to 3 days this week, the mayor was trying hard to avoid being the victim of the political fallout. It was a coincidence of scheduling, but for David Dinkins, a morning ceremony promoting a Washington civil rights march had to be a welcome breather. In the warm embrace of some of his oldest political allies, the mayor managed a brief respite from the PVB problem. But the music and good fellowship afforded only momentary escape from the demands of governing. And having forced out one of his most senior aides yesterday in a grim political balancing act, the questions continue this morning. Would New Yorkers differentiate between this problem and the PVB scandals of the 1980s?
If it's not venal, it was not criminal, and we all know it. You can use the word scandal if you wish, but it just doesn't fit. It's not
true, but in the overheated political context of a campaign, those subtle distinctions may be lost. Shortly after the mayor relieved Budget Director Michael of his job last night, Rudolph Giuliani was already moving the campaign bullseye to First Deputy Mayor Norman Steisel, who was also criticized in the report. Steisel now heads the city effort to fix the asbestos problem in the schools.
This is one of the areas, I guess, of most pressing concern to parents and teachers. And here, the mayor has the same Norman Steisel, who mismanaged the Lockheed situation, according to the mayor's own Department of Investigation, in charge of the asbestos problem.
Today, Giuliani was said by staffers to be at the beach, conveniently leaving the mayor behind, trying to avoid drowning in a sea of questions about why one aide had been axed and another hadn't.
This is an administration that has balanced 4 budgets on time. This is an administration that has reduced crime, and this administration includes Norman Steisel. He's been doing a great job as deputy mayor.
Today, the mayor was essentially saying that no more heads would be rolling, and senior aides to the mayor were saying pretty much the same thing, that they were hoping that within a few days this problem would be behind them. Live from Gracie Mansion, Pat Dawson, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Pat. A Catholic priest in New Jersey pleaded not guilty today to charges of fondling an 18-year-old male parishioner. Monsignor Robert Morell allegedly touched the young man during a party in the church rectory last month. Supporters of the priest question if the incident ever happened, but prosecutors say the man who brought the charges is a credible witness.
He was a leader in his high school class. He's starting college in September. He's someone whose veracity is not in question.
He is a priest. He does have a great spiritual foundation. And he's regained his strength and his pride in himself.
Monsignor Morell may be eligible to enter a pre-trial intervention program, but if he should be convicted, he could face 18 months in prison and $7,500 in fines. The town of Hempstead on Long Island is the winner for now, at least in the latest fight to close the nude dance club Runway 69. The bar opened this summer in Island Park after community protest forced it out of Forest Hills in Queens. Now the bar is locked up tight, cited for operating without a valid liquor license and for altering the building without a permit. The next round is Monday, with Hempstead and Runway 69 squaring off in state Supreme Court. And also on Long Island, Susan Chamberlain and the couple for whom she conceived and bore a surrogate child continue their custody battle. The court has appointed a guardian for the child till the case is decided, and that guardian says the child should be given to the birth father of the child. That could be important. Lucy Yang is live now in Central Islip. Lucy?
That's right, Bill. Will the little baby grow up as Benjamin Kaplan, Joseph Kaplan's only child, or will he grow up as Shane Chamberlain, Susan Chamberlain's fourth child? Much more than a name, a little baby's destiny now waits to be settled.
Based on their birth.
Family Court Judge David Freundlich listened to more than 2 hours of closing arguments today as attorneys on this case tried one last time to paint their clients as model parents while trying to portray the other side as the worst possible alternative.
To Susan Chamberlain, she told you she would die for her children.
Give Joe a son and give his son a father.
After that, the court-appointed legal guardian gave his recommendation, told the judge he thought the child should go to Joseph and Jean Kaplan. He explained outside how he reached that very difficult decision.
It really came down to the stability of the family. I think Mrs. Chamberlain's Achilles heel is Tom.
Tom Chamberlain had testified earlier that he hit his wife and stepdaughter once, which prompted Susan to obtain 2 orders of protection against him. However, today she stood emotionally behind her husband, who, by the way, did not attend the end of this trial.
No marriage is perfect, and we never denied that. We never, ever denied that.
In this bitter fight, one side's heartbreak is the other side's cause for joy.
We just hope that this child to get as much love as possible, and we do not have anything against Susan.
The judge is by no means obliged to follow the counselor's recommendation, but the Kaplans are hoping it will have a strong influence on his final decision. As for Jean Kaplan, she has 2 grown children from a previous marriage, but is completely estranged from them. If the Kaplans were granted custody, she would be a mother again at age 50. Some other recommendations by the guardian today were to give Susan Chamberlain liberal visitation rights and to keep the baby's name as Shane, which is on the birth certificate. Again, the judge does not have to follow these suggestions, but just which set of parents will take the baby home will be decided on September 10th. We're live in Central ISLIP. Lucy Yang, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Lucy. In a courthouse in Manhattan, grand jury indictments today for the 3 people accused of kidnapping Harvey Weinstein and burying him alive for 2 weeks. The next step in facing justice, they will face justice next at their arraignments on September 14th. In court today, the Rodriguez brothers were represented by court-appointed attorneys. The man said to be the ringleader, Fetterman Rodriguez, plans to enter a plea of not guilty. The 3rd suspect did not appear in court today. If convicted, the 3 could face 15 years to life in prison for that kidnapping. Bergen County in New Jersey is the only county in that state that still has blue laws on the books. Laws that say some things must never be sold on Sunday. Clothes and furniture, appliances, and so on. Not surprisingly, a lot of merchants want the blue laws repealed, and they're trying to get the issue on the ballot on Election Day so that people can vote on it. That story tonight from David Navarro.
With a red-eye determination, the battle lines have been drawn to repeal a blue law in Bergen County.
I'm in favor of it.
A petition drive to place the matter on the November ballot is being organized by a group of prominent Bergen County business people who call themselves the Vote Yes for Sunday Shopping Association. Bergen County remains the last holdout in all of New Jersey where shopping for products like clothing, furniture, and appliances is prohibited on Sundays.
I work all week, and when I come home, I'm tired. So it'd be nice to be able to shop on Sunday.
But in Paramus, where almost 250,000 cars pass through every day, Sunday is the only break from the madness. Paramus is the shopping center of the county, and if you've ever been stuck crawling along the intersection of Route 4 and 17 on a Saturday, you might be able to appreciate why some residents are worried about one more day of it.
We are the people who live here all day long, every week, including Sunday, including Saturday. We need a certain quality of life.
If Bergen County removes its blue laws, Paramus's blue laws would still be in effect. But that probably wouldn't last very long, not when the businesses here start getting jealous of the ones that are open on Sundays. Especially since businesses represent half of the town's $60 million budget. However, the coalition believes the repeal of the blue law is good business for not only Paramus, but the entire county.
By having the county open on Sunday, that is going to provide a great deal of stimulus into increasing employment opportunities.
But the mayor of Paramus doubts that and believes in the end the repeal would actually cost his town more money in police and emergency services necessary for another full day of weekend shopping. Reporting from Paramus, David Navarro, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
And the Coalition of Businessmen needs 2,500 signatures of registered voters in Bergen County to get the blue laws question put on the November ballot. The organizers say they're confident they'll get more than enough signatures to force that issue to a vote come November. When we come back in just a moment, doctors try to separate 7-week-old twins joined at the chest in a high-stakes operation where only one child survives. And we'll tell you why some power company officials are trying to make these birds on the wire fly the coop. We'll have those stories and we'll have more when we come back in a moment.
Hey, we know.
Great many people are hoping and praying for the Lakeburg family of Indiana tonight. Surgery to separate 7-week-old Siamese twins Amy and Angela is over, and it took more than 5 hours to separate the liver and heart tissue the two girls shared. And there was only enough heart tissue to save one, the child Angela. The surgery was done in Philadelphia because doctors in Chicago were opposed to the separation, which gave only a 1% chance of survival to either one of them.
It's up and down. It's negative and positive because we lost a life and we gained a life. So we're kind of feeling, I mean, our emotions are just...
Fortunately, the preoperative studies were accurate in every detail. We were very lucky there. And the repair went smoothly.
Doctors say it will be 2 to 3 days before they can make a prediction on Angela's chances of survival. And more medical problems to report tonight. A 15-year-old boy on Long Island is in the hospital diagnosed with meningitis. It's a disorder that is communicable and causes an inflammation of nervous tissue. And the Nassau County Health Department says the boy lives in Albertson and was on a day trip upstate run by Tours for Teenagers when he became ill. Well, some parrots have found a home in Edgewater, New Jersey, on top of a utility pole. Dangerous place for birds, so man has tried to make them set up housekeeping someplace else. But these birds of a feather keep flocking together wherever they like. Carlos Granda has this story.
People on Hilliard Street are constantly looking, pointing, even taking pictures of their new neighbors. But the neighbors don't mind. They're a colony of monk parrots that have made their home here in Edgewater. They moved in about a year ago and built their woven twig nest on some power lines just below a transformer.
We're so used to them that it's part of the street.
But as charming as the green-plumed parrots are, they worry officials at PSENG. They say this poses a hazard. They've tried to evict them, removing the nest twice, but each time the resourceful birds rebuild.
We're concerned about an electrical condition up there, or an electrical charge or electrical ground up there. And it definitely can cause a fire hazard.
The birds aren't native to this area. They're from South America. As a matter of fact, they're banned from New Jersey. They're considered agricultural pests because they can destroy grain and fruit crops.
They're real tough. They're real survivors. They're not afraid of people or bad weather or anything like that.
People here like that toughness and are fascinated how they've been able to rebuild after their nests were torn down. PSENG has run into angry neighbors who are crying foul.
Live and let live. I mean, they aren't hurting anybody up there.
We want the birds to stay. PSNG could go and do other things that are more important.
We don't want to harm the birds. We just want to have our wires free of any foreign objects.
Officials say they're now trying to work out a solution with the State Wildlife Commission, something that would protect people, power lines, and parrots. In Edgewater, New Jersey, I'm Carlos Granda, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
And as a matter of interest, this colony of monk parrots is only the second one reported in New Jersey in recent years. The other one was in Middlesex County. When we come back, he has a face that stands out in a crowd and has total strangers doing double takes. Meet a man with a presidential look in life around here. And it's back to business in the Bronx tonight as the Yankees try to keep Kansas City from becoming a royal stumbling block to first place. Mark Stevens will have sports in a moment.
This is a place that we all vowed we'd never leave.
It's a haven for the middle class, but suddenly many are moving out. Eyewitness News investigates why some people still love Long Island while others are leaving it.
Because there's no future here anymore on Long Island.
Are higher taxes, traffic jams, and high utility costs driving residents from Long Island?
We like it here. We think we can make it.
The reasons behind the Long Island exodus. A special report tonight on Eyewitness News at 11, right here on Channel 7.
Art Schultz is a man who can hardly walk down the street without attracting a lot of attention. He lives in Carmel, New York, and he looks like a president. Not George Washington, not Thomas Jefferson, not Ronald Reagan. And he's not vacationing on Martha's Vineyard, but he is a part of life around here. Steve Hartman.
His last haircut only cost $8 and had no effect on airline departures.
Nice of you to squeeze me in.
The man in the chair is Art Schultz, a Carmel resident, a graphic artist, and a die-hard Republican, although you never know by looking. Art was probably the best lookalike to come out of Bubba Magazine's recent Clinton Lookalike contest. He won Best Hair.
I've also studied a little of his mannerisms.
From certain angles, he's a dead ringer. People are always saying,
You know that you look, and as soon as they say that, I know exactly what the rest of the line's going to be like.
We wanted to see for ourselves, and maybe take it a step further. I'm Agent Hartman, Secret Service. Together with Jefferson Valley Mall Security, we usher the president through the crowds of adoring fans.
I hope you'll vote for my health program. Hillary's done a lot of work on it.
Who are you?
No, it didn't go so well at first.
Put a signature in there.
Until we met Frank Lee, who, believe it or not, wanted an autograph from the commander-in-chief.
Thanks a lot.
He looks like President... What's our president? I'm so excited. Clinton, but it isn't. It's a Clinton look-alike. What the heck is his name?
Surprise, to say the least.
Right. What if I told you it wasn't him?
Get out of here! It's just like him.
Boy, were we convincing. We've just left the walk-in row. We're heading down the escalator. Or at least, he was convincing. In fact, he's now worried about being too convincing. This is the sign that hangs on his door. Steve Hartman, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Steve makes a pretty good Secret Service man, don't you think?
He had the moves then and the sunglasses, like
Mark Stevens, East meets West tonight at the stadium.
Yes, the runner-ups from each division, Bill, but just to be different, we won't call this one the series or the showdown, since that's what we've done with the beginning of just about every series the Yankees have played in the last month. But that doesn't make it any less crucial for them. Even though it's not an AL East foe tonight, the Yanks can't afford not to beat the Royals at the stadium this weekend. They've had a day now to reflect on what they didn't do against the Rangers the last two games. Not getting runs home cost them in the standings too. The Yankees League East, and they're not playing a pushover tonight. The Royals are in second place in the AL West. David Cohn pitched them to their fourth straight win yesterday. These games mean as much to KC as they do to the Yankees, and the Bombers know
play big against one guy and not against the other. That's not realistic. You got to play big against everybody, whether it's Toronto, whether it's Kansas City, whether it's anybody. You've got to go out and you've got to play your heart out, and that's the way you got to look at it.
At this point, every game is big, whether it's somebody fighting or somebody that's working on a salary drive or whatever. Every game for us is big right now because we're chasing a team.
That they are. Hey, if you noticed, Mets fans are smiling again today because of a rare scheduled second day off in a row. Time to celebrate. The Mets, though, begin the big battle for the worst record in baseball tomorrow in Colorado. They'll play two. Today in Chicago, they should think about counting the fans outside of Wrigley in the overall attendance. Braves trouble again there. Seventh inning, Cubs score 4 times. Rick Wilkins put them ahead for good after winning 9 in a row. Atlanta's now lost 2 straight. Puts them 8 behind the Giants. Football now, and tomorrow night's Giants and Jets preseason clash has a little more on the line than just Big Apple bragging rights. It'll be a reunion of sorts, since an old-time Giant is now a new-time Jet. He's Leonard Marshall, now number 70 in green. He took the big money free agent dollars the Jets had to offer, leaving behind 10 years on the other side of the river with the Giants. That means instead of being Phil Simms' teammate, tomorrow night he'll be chasing number 11 around.
The good thing is the guys he's going to face there, I don't know, this week, might not be the guys he faces during the season. So we might sneak up on him during the season or whatever, but I'm sure he's looking forward to playing. So I know he's looking forward to trying to get a good lick in on me.
I told Phil this all season, and, Phil, I'm not a liar, Phil. You clearly recall me telling you we'll play touch football come this weekend. And so when I get near you, I'm just going to touch you on the seat. I don't want Diana to get mad at me. I just want to touch you on the rear end, and you just fall down.
We'll see. And Jeff George makes his first appearance in Colts camps today. He ends his holdout. He will be paid for the first game. That's worth $110,000, but he owes $144,000 in fines. Well, if his debut is any indication, Brian Davis has a future on the Professional Bowlers Tour. All strikes through 9 frames in the Harrisburg Open last night. His first ball in the 10th, just like the first 9. Still perfection. Davis follows that with his 11th strike in a row. That leaves him just 1 ball and 1 strike away from a perfect game.
Oh, not the 2 big
Yeah, just the 2-pin that cost Brian Davis $110,000 in bonuses, but the $299 still wins him $20,000 for winning the Harrisburg Open. And finally, do you ever laugh at those fans who bring their mitts to baseball games? Well, you might not after seeing this. Foul ball in the Metrodome, and this guy's serious. He uses the glove to get it away from other kids around, but he has a soft heart. After the celebration, gives it to his kid. But he's not done. Next inning, and that's not an instant replay. Another foul ball. Guess who gets number 2? The celebration also looks the same, except this time there are 2 where there used to be 1. You know, I've been to about 1,000 baseball games in my time and never got a foul ball. I'm bringing my mitt next time. That'll do it in sports. I'm Mark Stevens.
We'll cross our fingers for you, Mark.
I'm going to keep trying. No luck.
The next few hours might not be very much fun, but the rest of the weekend, we are told, is terrific. Bill Evans will be along with the AccuWeather forecast in just a moment.
Wheel crime fighters, high-tech baby gear, a knockout artist, and saving the swamp. Saturday at 7:30 right here on Channel 7.
Bill Evans is in for Sam Champion, and I think he has some good news for us.
Absolutely. Tonight it's going to be a little showery around the area, but other than that, we're looking at what will be a beautiful weekend. Here's how things look this hour. We have skies that are cloudy. There's been some light rain around, a few drizzles. 79 degrees. Humidity is very high at 83%. The barometer has been falling because a cold front is working its way through now, and high pressure is leaving, so that makes the barometer fall, and it gives us the winds that have been mostly out of the south and southwest. We've got a lot of moisture moving in today. So much moisture coming in, actually, that it created a cloud deck that held away heavier thunderstorms, and that's been really good news throughout the afternoon. No severe weather here. As a matter of fact, when we look at the satellite pictures over the last 24 hours, this time yesterday we had a mix of sun and clouds. Really nice day yesterday, a bit on the humid side. But watch the thunderstorms that are right here around Chicago and through the Ohio Valley, and notice that they just kind of dissipate and go away as they move east. And the reason why, the jet stream has been riding over the top of those clouds. It brushed off the tops, brought in a cloud deck here, and didn't allow for a lot of direct sunlight. This time of the year in August, you need that really, really hot day with lots of direct sunlight around these thunderstorms to really create a big, powerful storm. So all we've had is a few minor showers that have been coming across, although in the central portion of the state where there was more sunlight today, there's some heavy thunderstorms. As a matter of fact, a couple of watch boxes. This is areas of thunderstorm watch areas throughout the night tonight. None in our area, however. This is the current radar picture showing some pretty good thunderstorms to the west of Harrisburg and Scranton, and also just to the west of Philly. Those are moving due east at 30 miles per hour, and a couple of scattered showers are in and around the city, just south of Long Island, south of coastal Connecticut, right around the Twin Forks. All of this area of rain is moving eastward tonight, and as it does that, we'll just have the chance of a scattered light sprinkle off and on tonight. You're going to be out. There's Shakespeare in the Park. The Yankees are playing tonight. Will not probably delay the game at all, but expect to see maybe a light scattered shower for lasting about 10 or 15 minutes tonight. Otherwise, across the rest of the country, really the only thing going on has been this cold front that is moving through. This front is the wind shift right here, the first front that's coming through the night. The second front that's coming in behind that is the cooler, drier air that is headed our way. Very humid down south. The heat wave continues across Texas, where heat indexes have been above 115. Tomorrow, the front moves right on through. Cool, high pressure drives right in. It's going to give us some gorgeous weather. However, it's really going to be hot across the Gulf Coast, into the southwest, and to the Pacific. But tomorrow, it'll be a breezy beauty. High pressure will be here tomorrow, give us gorgeous weather. Cool north winds will blow in tomorrow, even it'll last in through Sunday. You're welcome. Showers early tonight, partly cloudy tonight. It will be partly cloudy and cooler later. Look at tomorrow. Breezy, less humid, sunny, gorgeous. 82 the high. The 5-day outlook from AccuWeather. Sunny on Sunday. Look at that, 82. Bill, get out the golf clubs.
They're already out.
And see ya.
Okay. Thanks, Bill, very much. Tonight on Eyewitness News at 11, New York's finest are going to get some more firepower. We're going to tell you about a controversial new weapon police officers will be using in the city to try to keep the peace on the streets. Not everybody is happy about it. We'll tell you why. And he's a doctor born and bred on Long Island, but he will not be practicing here. Tonight, in a special report, we'll show you why some of the best and brightest are leaving their roots. An exodus from Long Island tonight at 11. Finally, a funny thing happened on the way to church in Vinton, Louisiana the other day. A Pontiac Grand Am filled with people heading for a Pentecostal religious retreat in Florida came speeding through town. The police gave chase. The car piled into a tree, but nobody was badly hurt. Not even their pride was wounded as 20 naked men, women, and children climbed out of the Grand Am. 2 children had even been packed in the trunk, and everybody got on their knees and began religious chants. They said they were naked because the devil made them do it. If he is there, you can bet they're hunting for him tonight in Vinton, Louisiana. And that's Eyewitness News tonight. Peter Jennings is next.